Uh, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors your brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is going to be a quick video, man, going into the Israelites, and basically the story that the side of the story that the Esau, okay, the people that rule the world right now, they don't like to tell. And this is the story or the reality that really the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans really are they're the top guys within the earth when it comes down to advancing technology, okay, when it comes to science, okay, when it comes to all of those different things, okay. So when you personal testimonials and all of that, I've been around certain guys, a lot of them Nigerians out there. When they come over to the so-called Western world, okay, they excel beyond Esau, and this is an example of that. Okay, really, old Jake, upon application of their spirit, they advanced to a level higher than Esau, and this was the whole big secret that's been coming out. That's coming out now. Okay, this is the big secret that basically they tried to hide for years and years and years. Because when you check out what was happening within the so-called times of slavery, when you had situations where a slave master came up with a so-called profitable product, what was happening in the background was an Israelite had come up with that so-called profitable product. Okay, that's what was happening. You had it to where Jake was coming up with that. Okay, a lot of the combine harvesters, all of these things that came, during the time what was known as slavery, those inventions came over Israelites. Okay, if not straight up Israelites, as in the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, then the Israelite foreigners. Okay, so let me read a precept here. It says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power." To the Israelites, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, we're holy unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, holy meaning separate. Okay, the Most High has separated us from the other nations, but even further, of which, let's not get it twisted, this is what you would know as racism, man. This is a racist statement. So the Lord has chosen one group of people to be superior than another group of people. Okay, has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So when Jake, okay, the Israelites, okay, when we get into something, when we get into it, okay, and one thing I always like to make a point of when I do videos like this is the fact that there's this thing called the scriptures. Okay, when you're talking about the scriptures, the entirety of the scriptures, man, the baddest dudes that be into the scriptures is us, because the Most High has given us that special spirit. Okay, when you're talking about the understanding of the Bible, okay, the understanding of the spirit and so on and so forth, you're talking about a situation where, okay, the Israelites, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, we're the top guys when it comes to the scriptures, man. Okay, because the Most High has given us this that spirit of understanding. And the reality of the situation is that what? The reality of the situation is that the scriptures is the highest form of mathematics, okay, and understanding and wisdom. This is where it all comes from discipline. And when you check out how we used to have our society, okay, in the so-called ancient times, we had a society that was basically based around the scriptures. All right, we had a society where the main, the first thing you was gonna learn is coming out of the Bible. Then you go into mathematics, science, and so on and so forth. So when you apply these things into, you apply your so-called technical knowledge to a thing, okay, you was always gonna apply it from a standpoint of righteousness. And this is something that you don't have within the society. These Esau doesn't be applying things in terms of the spirit. Okay, let's go into the scriptures, the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter. Okay, the 5th verse, it says, the earth is defiled underneath the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed laws and changed the ordinances and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left. So this is basically going into the fact that you got Esau ruling the world right now. And all the technology that he comes out with, if it is him that comes out with it, okay, it's on the left-hand side. So you have a mobile phone, okay, made predominantly by, Jake, the inventions that the Israelites came out with. I believe even Wi-Fi came out of the Israelites, okay, a straight up Negro or something like that, okay. But the way they apply it within the society is detrimental to the human body. So the Most High said that what? Therefore I have to curse, devour the earth. Okay, so let me get into this article. It says, this 26-year-old Nigerian, okay, of which that's a young man, all right, is now the highest paid robotics engineer in the world. So you had Esau out there, okay, basically getting into technologies and sciences and going and doing these degrees. And you had a 26-year-old Israelite, okay, of which some people out there, their thing is that this, Nigerians are Hamites. When you look at this dude, look how he's dressed, look at his swagger and that. Okay, look at his countenance, because the scripture says that what? Your countenance, all right, the countenance of an Israelite, man, that was going to be different to the countenance of a Hamite. Okay, that light was always going to shine through. And you can see this dude's got that light, man. Okay, this is an Israelite. Okay, but you had Esau studying for years and years and years, but they didn't have the juice. All right, but see, the Most High put the spirit, and he's putting the spirit upon the Israelites. But like I always mention in videos like this, it's starting with the scriptures. See, the scriptures is the highest form of understanding. And on the earth right now, only the Israelites, and really forever and ever, only the Israelites are going to be the one with the highest understanding of the scriptures, because the Most High said he's given it unto us and our children forever and ever and ever. Okay, these things they're like side dishes, man. But the main thing is the scriptures. Okay, let's go into this. It says a 26-year-old Nigerian credited for building the world's first gaming robot has become the highest paid in the field of robotics and engineering. Okay, now that doesn't necessarily mean he's the toppest engineer, but obviously the product that he's pushing out there has made it to where what? Okay, he's the top guy in his field. Okay, and that all goes back onto what? Goes back onto the fact that the Most High is given that special spirit. But because we had served that time of hardcore slavery, we was in a position where we really couldn't excel at anything. Okay, but see, now because the Lord's coming back, you got certain things. Now you got a thing called mental slavery. Okay, but now really you're having a situation whereby, okay, you're having a situation whereby things are being loosened up. So you got Jake's going out there into college and so on and so forth, of which I don't particularly condone that. All right, but you got Jake's going out there, and guess what? They're coming out on top, man. Okay, but what's gonna happen is when the Lord comes back, that's when we're really gonna excel, and there was gonna be a distinct difference between us and the other nations. So let me get one more scripture. Okay. Jacob is the former. I believe this is the one. Okay, Jeremiah 10:16, it says, the portion of Jacob is not like them. So what we have is on another level. Okay, for he is the former of all things. Israel is the rod of his inheritance. So we create everything. And when you check out what the scripture says, basically we created the very elements that you call a magnesium, aluminium, all of that. You check out how the Most High set it up. We was with Yahushai when those elements, well, the elect was with Yahushai. Okay, when those elements were being created, man. Okay, so we're the former of all things. Okay, so hopefully with that, that was of edification. With that, I'm gonna say, all praise unto Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. Okay, Bashim Rakar Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Honestly, brothers, that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.